Well, come back. Welcome back, dear listeners and viewers. Natalie's being real cool on the video. Everyone, subscribe. The Inane Blather podcast is on YouTube. You don't have to watch our beautiful faces or our ugly mugs, but come on, do us a favor here.
Come on.
It's episode 135. It's episode 135. You could do something for us. But
135.
Yeah, which is my lucky number. You know why? Because I'm here with you right now, and I'm the luckiest man on earth, and it's episode 135. So I couldn't think up any other good thing, so it's like, who cares?
You know what?
Lucky
He's
numbers
not
are
wrong.
stupid. No.
You're not wrong.
But it's Inane Blather, the podcast that has been described often as...
That was, and I don't say this lightly, worse than 100 September 11th.
Or maybe in shorter terms described as... I don't know how long this goes. Okay, that's too long. I'm cutting it off. But but
that's
Shorter
what she
terms.
said.
that's what she and he and they and all of the people in the crowd said. Yet, they still have to agree, even if you're booing, or if you love us, or even if
you're pooping the bed.
It doesn't matter. You can still join today. You can join the cult of Inane. You can become one of the collective. You can become one of the...
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
And you know what? The more you listen, you're just going to become that anyway. It's kind of an indoctrination thing. It's like what we do in the schools, My gosh, it's so funny. I've been having like a 4-day long, a dumb argument on Twitter with some random right-wing nut job that just Dunning-Kruger personified, one of those types of things. And out of all things, it's just because I made a joke at one point where it's like, he said something. He's like, yeah, well, good thing that all these leftists aren't having kids anymore. All their ideology is just going to go away anyway. Making some stupid comment, like as if, leftists are, developed in the womb or something like that, like these people think. And I just said, well, that's why we've infiltrated the schools and we just take your kids away from you and teach them what we want. And with a little smiley face, he started quoting me. He's like, oh my gosh, they admitted it. One of them admitted it and stuff. And he's like going up. And later on, he's like, you're just mad because you got caught. You got caught and you admitted it. I'm like, you're such a moron. I was like, yep, it's true. I'm also the one who puts razor blades and drugs in the candies on Halloween.
And apples.
And he's like, oh my God, we solved it. Oh, wow. That happened to me. Yeah, they could convince themselves of anything, really.
And you know what? I think conservatives are made in the wound because their parents are drinking lead-contaminated water. And,
yeah, they are developed in the womb.
Chain smoking.
But what did you just say, Natalie? I think I heard you say...
You know what?
So now that catches my ear. Now it's just like after R.M. Brown, if someone says generally speaking, boom, it's a sound drop. But when I hear you know what?
You know what?
Is what's in my head. So
you know what?
But and something special. We're recording at night. A little background information
Danae's
just to throw out
from.
And Danae is recording in the middle of the day. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Isn't that
April
crazy,
1,
bro?
baby.
Oh my gosh.
And that's not an April Fool's
That
joke.
looked like a good New York slice.
Yep, that's right. She's in New York
like a Ho Chi
City.
Minh slice. Yeah.
No, what's up, Danae?
What's up? Sorry, I'm
you're
trying to get
arranging
comfortable.
things.
I should have done that. I should have
See,
done that.
people
Like,
should
literally
go on YouTube. You got to get closer,
10
Danae. You
minutes
look
before.
gorgeous.
I know,
Gorge.
but I need back
Did you like the
support.
lighting
'cause I'm
so
old.
good?
Yeah, you need to set yourself
Gorgeous
up well.
and old,
Be, self-care.
Gorgeous and aging. Anyway,
How to age gracefully. She's like in her 30s.
That's what our podcast is really about. You know,
Listen.
aging
So
gracefully.
start by
not
rubbing a banana peel on your face.
waking up at 3:50 a.m., rubbing a gross banana peel on your face, dunking your head in cold
That's-
water, and not doing anything
Yes.
for another 5 hours until you go to a fake job.
That's actually why I am in Vietnam, is so that I can learn the ways of aging. I'd like to be able to smoke 2 packs a day while
Right.
running a marathon.
Oh yeah,
And then also,
at 70 years old.
yeah, while running a marathon. Don't forget,
Yeah.
like at the same time, because that's happened.
Like 2 packs.
There was,
straight
I'm
up
going,
40
I'll
cigarettes.
find it. I will find it. There is a guy that did that, like last year. He like
Man.
was literally smoking
Yeah,
while he
he
was
smoked the
running,
whole
which
time.
I love it. I love that for him. Yeah, so I'm just here to learn all the beauty secrets and then hopefully
Report
gatekeep them.
back?
And
Yeah,
No.
hopefully, try to make a
I'm just gonna-
buck once I get back,
Yeah.
and be like
maybe get a little
the
I might
Vietnamese
do a little
method or something.
cheap Botox while I'm here. Get a little
Yeah,
box.
we're like, come back
Botox.
looking
Yeah.
totally different. We're like, wow, you did.
I actually,
You
I
found the
did do
method.
it. I did do Botox last time I was here, and like the problem was that the lady I had booked with was in another city at the time, so she was like FaceTiming me, and like I think you should do this, 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 and this, and like the
Pretending
woman
to put
that
a needle
Yeah,
in.
you're like, ow.
no, and and basically the woman that was like supposed to do it for me was like also sitting there with me, like getting the instructions from the woman on the phone,
Oh boy,
and like didn't speak a lick of English.
not a lick.
Anyway, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be so cheap and stuff." I ended up spending like $800 US,
Oh my god.
and I had to
Oh.
go. I had to go back like a month later. Like, I need you to take some of this out of my face. Like it. I was like, I had
it
like
just cut out.
like dysmorphia because I was like, this was like supposed
Who
to be
is
like
this?
a slight adjustment. Like my cheeks look weird. Like what's going on? Anyway, so
shit.
Oh boy.
I don't recommend going somewhere unless you can have an English conversation in person.
I don't recommend getting remote
FaceTime Botox.
Yeah.
Remote Botox is not the way to go.
I mean, at
Learn
that
it
point, you
from
might as well
me.
be doing it on your own. You
I
just
know.
get instructions.
Just give me the needle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll send you guys a picture though. I have there was like a tray of all of like the discarded needles and stuff from like the hour that I was there. It's crazy.
Wow.
I was like, I was not expecting this much.
You're like, is this
Anyway.
normal? What's wrong with me?
Invasive.
I was like, I just
Can
want
I
to
get for acupuncture or Botox?
Yeah, they're like, well, you
I
put
was
us out of
literally, like-
business.
like I was literally just wanting to do. I was like, just make me like a little bit more like symmetrical, because like I have like kind of like a little bit of a lazier eye. Everyone has like something. So I was like, I just wanted it to be like kind of, but she went
definitely do.
she went hardcore on it.
Oh.
And
then so she had to make up for it. Then there's another needle on the floor. Then gotta go
don't
back to
know,
the
I
other side.
guess.
Another needle on the floor.
I don't know, but like I don't know. I'm pro injections personally.
Yeah.
Though I'm also like at some points where I'm like, okay, like when you stop looking like yourself and like trying to look like
Right.
someone else, I'm like, okay, like come on, But
Sure.
also to each their own. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
You
thing.
know.
It's like there's that give and take where it's like, you could look at people that go overboard or with plastic surgery, of course, but like where it's just like, why did you do that? Why would you think it looks better? And it's like, but at the same time, it's like, that's not up to you anyway. People can look how they want to look. Whatever looks better. It's like, but is that what they think? Is that what they were going for? Or are they hooked on modification? It's
I
like
think it's
getting
like a little
covered
bit
in
of both.
tattoos. It's like kind of
Yeah.
you went that route instead of tattoos.
or like
You know.
piercings and stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's not for aesthetics anymore. It's because you like getting it done. So could be something
I
there.
feel like for everyday people, it's like whatever. But it would be nice for like a little bit more transparency with like people setting the beauty standards, like in
Yes,
Hollywood and stuff.
absolutely.
That's where it's like, can you guys just admit that you're all getting Botox
Yeah.
and nose jobs and veneers
like,
and chin
it's
jobs
okay.
and cheek lifts? It's like, we know you are, and I feel really gaslit, and it feels really
Yeah.
like not helpful or healthy. If it's like, if you want to do it, you must be okay with doing it because you're doing it.
Yeah.
so not like you like owe
shouldn't
it
be
to people. It's like,
ashamed.
well, it's like it's my body, and it's like, but all of us are like, you are perpetuating these beauty standards,
Yeah.
whether you
Yeah.
like it or not. You are the person that people are taking photos of. You are that is
true.
what this is. So if you
Right.
could just be more transparent about it, that would be very helpful,
It's-
I think, for people, because regardless of what I feel about plastic surgery or any of those kinds of things, people are going to do it, whatever. And it's like a bummer to me that humans become so insecure. But it's like, it would be helpful if you really knew for sure that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Even though you can see it. Tom Cruise's fucking teeth, man, he used to have such a fucked up like jawline and stuff. Like his teeth were like all crooked and off.
Teeth in
Not like he
Hollywood
was like
is a
ugly or
menace.
something.
Veneers.
Everybody has perfect like like that. And it's
Yeah.
like, can you guys just be
Also-
like, just you did it. And
Also,
I mean, it'd be nice if you didn't, but
Yeah, and also just like to talk more about like the hazards of that stuff too, because like veneers,
Yeah.
the process of veneers, disgusting. We'll never
Really?
do that. Personally, like they like shave your teeth down and like put caps on there, and they don't last forever. You have to get them
Wow.
replaced and stuff. It's disgusting.
totally.
Wow. It's like,
And,
Most
like,
of it is
I
not
just-
forever.
on
Not,
your-
no
in your
plastic
mouth.
surgery.
None of it's
nothing like that
forever.
is permanent.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, and
yeah, see, that's why
and
they should
even,
just go
like-
with tattoos.
Well, even
Then
like
you keep
the,
modifying and it lasts. No.
there you go. Yeah, even like like to
No,
Also-
disc
oh.
too slow.
Also, Kanye's mom
Okay,
died
We're
from
good.
like she was undergoing like it is
That
a
was
real
like
risk too of
BBL
like
or
procedures
something,
that go
right?
under
No.
anesthesia.
Yes.
that it's like a genuine. It's like you know it, and it's like a risk that comes with every surgery. But those are
There's a
risks,
reason.
and you can't
people
downplay
don't talk
the
about
fact
that enough. Yeah,
that you can have BBLs and stuff. They have
Cardi
like this
B.
really bad.
right?
Yes, like bad rate of like things going wrong with them and having to have multiple surgeries to correct some of these things. And every single surgery you have where you go under anesthesia, you are at risk of dying. That is just a
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah.
There are some things, anesthesiologists, they do a good job. They cannot predict everything, all those things. It's like, just be realistic about, it's like, and if you want to do it, then just say you're doing it. Just be like, yeah, I want
Yeah.
a big, fat, fake fucking ass.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, it's like,
I mean,
go to
I
the gym,
do.
that would
Let's
take
be
me 10
real.
More
years
power to you.
to do that. So I'm not going to, so just like,
I've
but
that
everyday
regret
people,
rate,
I don't
yeah.
really care about. Again,
Yeah, it's
people like
Yeah,
Cardi
well-
B, people like
People
Kim Kardashian, people like Hollywood celebrities.
they have to be
You
there
guys,
for those regular
influencers,
people to know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
Yes.
even like when they go back to like reverse stuff like that, like Kim Kardashian and stuff, they've like started to slowly like move away from like the BBLs and like change their bodies like like back to like kind of normal-ish. But like, and they're not very transparent about it. Like you have to be
Yeah.
like watching that like a hawk, which like some people do. But like I was gonna say, like those like body specific like obviously the anesthesia is the thing, but like yeah, BBLs are very dangerous. Like you can like get blood clots really easily and stuff. And like
yeah.
no one really talks about that when they're talking about major surgeries and stuff. So I think that's really important too. And then I was gonna say, like, even with normal people, like when they don't like disclose that they like get work done and stuff, like there's someone that I know that's like an in-law of mine. She looks fantastic for her age. She's in her like late 50s, 60s, early 60s. That woman has had work done. But because I know what it looks like to have work done, my mother does not know that. So my mom sees that person, compares herself to that person. Like, why? Like, not like in a terrible way, but like she's like, wow, like she's so beautiful, and like I'm just getting older and older, like my wrinkles, blah blah blah. I'm
Yeah.
like, mother, she has had work done.
Yeah.
There's a reason she goes to Mexico so often.
Yeah.
Like, and that's
That's what
fine
everyone
that she
around here
does that.
does.
But like,
Yeah.
it's like, remember, like these people do not look like this naturally. Oftentimes, like it's like.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's
And-
just something I'm like, okay, like let's be more upfront about like the fact that, hey, I'm getting this done.
And the other side of it is where you can do things naturally, and it just takes so much work and discipline or whatever, and look naturally, youthful. Like a person that Natalie and I know, incredible in her 50s, looked so amazing because she is so on it. The Whitney,
Yeah.
just like she's
Oh,
like
man.
no matter what, all year long, SPF 50. She takes care of herself.
SPF.
Yeah, I
Love
mean,
that.
she's a rich white woman, but it's like
Very
so it's
hydrated,
possible,
SPF,
and it's like, wow, she looks
expensive
amazing. It's like,
skincare.
yeah, because
Yeah.
she works
She has
really
really good
hard
skincare
and is
products.
disciplined to do
She
it.
works out
Yeah.
every single day. She has, and it's like there's definitely a privilege that goes along with it. She goes to the doctor, she goes to the dermatologist, she takes care of like all of those things. She's all natural and all that, but with the help of like being able to have an actual, like when we're talking about morning routines, she definitely
Yeah.
has a great morning
She has
routine.
the time to
Yep.
do it.
She has the time,
like time.
and when she didn't, even when she was working like full time, she would get up early. She would go to the gym because her husband could stay home and watch the kids, while she was out of the house before she went to work, her other job,
Right.
And then like she would have the time to be like, well, on my lunch break, there was like a yoga place that you could afford to go to, and I could do this and I could do that. And I had, it's like all these things to be able to live really healthily and really care for herself and really be intentional about it. And man, she does look
She's
great.
a smoke show. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely.
Yeah.
And she's like a regular person.
yeah.
but
and the
she gets her hair done by a nice hairdresser and all those kinds of things
Yeah.
too. She's like nice makeup.
there's all
and
the
that,
things,
but,
and you do your makeup right, you dress the way that suits you, yada yada. But and then even having that opportunity still takes all that discipline to keep that up. And it's like, hey, which route do you want to go? It's like, or you could like be like a normal person and just get some injections here and there. It's like, as long as it's being safe, then that sounds better. The technology is there. But it's funny that it's like the flip side to men. It's funny, like how we have, like, to generalize, but on the masculine side, it's like for whatever reason, why guys won't be upfront about steroid usage. It's like that with guys. It's like how, the nose jobs or things upholding beauty standards. It's like these masculine things, for built guys and stuff, how sometimes it's like, well, it's obvious, of course, because this guy's using steroids. Or they talk about the guys in Hollywood that get in shape and for movies, and sometimes they're so like Hugh Jackman and stuff like that, where it's like, well, they're using HGH and trainers, and it's like, just be upfront about that.
Sylvester Stallone said that he was like, I wouldn't be able to get back into like when he did that Creed, whatever movie he would, or
when he did Rocky Balboa,
movie,
I think
when he's like in his 60s, he's like, I took HGH,
of course,
obviously. Like,
like
I wouldn't be able to do that. I'm like 62 years old. Look, did you see my body in that thing?
Yeah, and then it's like,
and personal trainers and nutritionists and so on and so forth, and like literally that's your job to get in shape and all that. But and it's again. Normal people, everyday people, whatever. Like, no offense, but you're not really influencing too many people.
Yeah.
Influencers, like, really setting a standard, like, culturally and, like, reinforcing these standards is, like, and saying, especially, like, fitness, people who are, like, talking about like their routines.
That's
I
why they're
wash
known.
my face with Dasani water and I do all this stuff, and it's like, and you got Botox.
It's like,
and you got a brow
Greg
lift.
Turkington,
and you got lip injections.
And you're on Ozempic.
Yeah.
And you probably
it's
got
not
a
just
little
because
lift.
you work out, 4 days a week and you eat your vegetables. It's those other things too that you have to go to a doctor to get. It's not just like something you can just like in your day-to-day life. I'm at Safeway or your Hollywood doctor, your
Dr. Vinny Boom
influencer money doctor
gets to sign off on it.
It is what?
Oh, I was going to say, like that transparency thing. And then it's so funny when people are transparent about it. When Rob McElhenney, or however you pronounce his name, when he was Fat Mac, and then he got back into shape and was absolutely cut, looks like a fucking
shredded
Bowflex model. Like, it looks like he'd be on the cover
he looks like a
of
Botox
Men's
model.
Fitness.
He's like,
yeah, exactly. And then he just posted and he said, look, it's not that hard. All you need to do is lift weights 6 days a week, stop drinking alcohol, don't eat anything after 7 p.m., don't eat any carbs or sugar at all. In fact, just don't eat anything you like, get the personal trainer from Magic Mike, sleep 9 hours a night, run 3 miles a day, and have a studio, pay for the whole thing over a 6 to 7 month span. I don't know why everyone's not doing this. It's a super realistic lifestyle and an appropriate body image to compare oneself. And it's like, exactly. It's like not only you have those resources, but what? You can just do that. Like, imagine like thinking like, okay, if I could do this, if I could work out this much and torture myself this much because I'm only eating chicken breast and brown rice every fucking day and like working out 3 hours a day. It's like, also, he doesn't even have to go to a job during that time. He's just getting in shape.
That's his
job.
Yeah. Just
and like,
for
also,
a bit.
like, let's call those cuts what they are, which is eating disorders. So,
definitely not sustainable.
It's like a Christian Bale.
It's not sustainable whatsoever.
Yeah, like a healthy lifestyle. It's like you're getting cut. Hugh Jackman, we were talking to him for Wolverine. He said he would set an alarm. He would get up at like 3 a.m. to eat a chicken breast. He would eat every 6 hours, like a certain amount of protein. And like, it really was like,
you weigh it out.
Extremely scheduled. And you don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm going to be tired for work. It's like, because you are working. That's what you're doing right now. It's like
part
you
of
don't
your
have
job
to,
is getting enough sleep after that.
That is your life. Yeah.
Where it's like they want you to sleep so that when you wake up, you can go back to the trainer. That's what you're doing right now. That's in a contract somewhere that you're doing this right now. It's like, you have to, you want to at that point. But yeah, exactly. You know what? That's why I still need to lose about 25 pounds is because I don't have the personal trainer from Magic Mike. All right. So, and I still haven't tried the Ozempic, even though I qualified and they would give it to me, because I don't know, it's like shots and stuff.
I've heard the side effects on that are awful.
Well, I used the other similar thing where you don't have to take injections. Meth? Yeah, no. I would definitely lose weight, but that's not sustainable. But there's like a 3-week span of when they're slowly upping your medication. I felt like shit every day. It sucks. I was like, oh, this is what people are talking about when they feel nauseous. I guess I've just never really felt nauseous. I was like, because this sucks. And then it's like, finally, it's like, oh, I'm going to use the bathroom and be like, I don't want to go back in there. That was horrible. I was like, what's happening to me? And it's like you're talking to the online doctor and stuff and having to do all this different things. And still, I cut, and then I lose like 13 pounds and then plateau. And it's just like, why am I even taking this? It's just so they could make some fucking money off me. I don't care at this point. I just need to get into a better routine, and this isn't going to help me do it. So whatever. It might cut out my midnight snacking, maybe. Or maybe it'll just make those midnight snacks horrific the next day. So it's like, well, I don't know. I'll take it.
My willpower to snack can override some fucking drugs.
Anything.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst. Come on. It's like, how come I quit drinking? I hardly ever smoke weed anymore. How do I still have the munchies at night? All the time.
Compared to when I've talked about this, it has been way easier for me to quit drinking. Way easier than to like consistently eat healthy. Yeah, no fucking way. It's like such like an up and down, like, oh my God, being consistent on that. Drinking, that's like, I'm like, yeah, I quit drinking. Like one day I was like, I'm starting November 1st, and then I just didn't drink.
Yeah, good for you, by the way.
That's how it was. Yeah, like it's easy, guys. Why don't you just do that?
Yeah.
But no, I mean,
you know why you don't do that?
It's because you're an honorless, lying little turd.
If you still drink.
Because I do other drugs. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're all California sober, the two of us, at least. So that's for sure.
I'm just not.
Oh, yeah. That's fine, too. Yeah. She's a raging.
What are you drinking right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a
Coke.
just some sort of
Coconut water.
cup
Like,
of like a Vietnamese Everclear. Yeah. But
Vietnamese Everclear. It's called Happy Water, actually.
oh yeah.
Oh.
I was talking to
Well, the Vietnamese Everclear is, but this is just coconut water.
I was just telling someone about my time in Mexico back when we were 18, 19 and stuff, and drinking the straight like grain alcohol that we buy at the liquor store when we got our rum and tequila. And it was so hardcore. And then even talking to the kid that was serving us tacos and drinks and stuff. We were talking to him later. He's like, yeah, what have you guys been doing? Are you having fun drinking? He's not 21. We're in Mexico, this and that. I've been drinking all day, every day for like a week. And it's like, yeah, no, we've been drinking this stuff. It's great. And he's like, you drink that? The way that he's like, no,
It's for cleaning.
abuelitas use that to rub on things, or something. We're like, nah, we drink it.
Oh.
We should. It's like, hey, it was on the shelf next to the Bacardi, and it was cheap. So you could tell it tastes just like Zach's moonshine, except worse. So,
Oh my God.
it was
Yikes.
brutal. But the things I used to do, to get a buzz.
Oh, yeah.
Now, it was the other night, I just decided, you know what? It'll be one of those nights. I'm just going to up the microdose. It'll be kind of a nice night. Everything kind of was nice and shiny and bright, and I laughed a little harder than usual at the Come Town podcast, and that was a good night, Just a little psilocybin, or however you pronounce
Oh,
it,
yeah.
psilocybin. So yeah, I just remember I told someone too. I was like, man, I just didn't even realize I left my earbud in, and it was just playing, and the shrooms kind of kicked in, and everything was kind of nice, and then suddenly I just cuts in. I hear Nick Mullen saying, he says, "Give me $18 million, and I will restage 9/11 as part of a marketing campaign," or something. And I just
Oh my God.
couldn't stop laughing. It was just the funniest thing I'd heard in forever, in that moment. I was like, that's better than when I would drink a bunch of Jameson and just say things that I regret to people constantly. So that's
Yeah, I
a little
don't
better
think people
Friday night for me.
Usually drink alcohol to like get to know themselves better, or to think
I would do
more
it to get
clearly.
to know other
I think
people
it's-
better.
But you don't.
It's usually
That's the
to
thing
shut
about
the
people.
voices out.
Yeah.
Exactly. People like to think that alcohol, I think 2 drinks right there at a buzz, that's really nice. You're still like
That's a sweet
cognizant.
spot.
Anything after that, no matter who you are, even if you're like an alcoholic or whatever, you've got like some quote unquote high tolerance, your brain can only take so much. Like once you start getting past buzzed, you're dumber. And that's a fact. Like your brain
Sure.
doesn't work. You're not able to have like an sort of like an epiphany that's going to be like helpful to you or critically think. It's going to be incredibly like small-minded. It's going to be
Self-centered,
really narrow. It's going to be
self-conscious.
really, it's just going to be not like opening you up to something. It's going to be like more of just like this small, dull focused thing.
That's why
Mushrooms,
people
some of these
drink
other
to
things.
numb. It's to do the opposite. It's
exactly.
to not have an epiphany
It's-
about anything. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It's like these other things are really like you can really get things on a bigger level. Drunk people, man, I mean, whatever, it's I like to
part of
party. I
life.
party with people who drink and all that kind of stuff. But and I've been there. I've been very drunk before in my life, a lot. But people are really fucking stupid and annoying when
Yeah.
they're drunk, and they're just like talking and repeating
It's pretty
themselves and
tough.
repeating themselves and
It's the
repeating themselves.
repetition
It's
that
like
Oh
me
my
too.
God, the worst.
The repetition. Man, when I first quit
so
drinking,
annoying.
it's like somehow I'm even more on the verge of suicide right now.
Like I'm already.
Because I'm hanging around you guys at the bar. I'm waiting to give my
There you
wife a
go.
ride home. I was like, I don't want to be here in general. Like here.
I already
This
have to repeat
stinks.
myself several times anytime I'm in a conversation. Like I don't need to do that while I've been drinking too.
Oh yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
That's much. As soon as I would hear a certain kind of repetition, I'd be like, she's drunk. I'd be like, oh, great. She's drunk. We got to go home. Yeah. It's like you learn to key in on exactly what it's like. It's really funny.
Boring.
Yeah.
It's just really boring.
But speaking of...
that's why.
Anyway.
That's why I would be in the sweet spot and have 2 drinks before work. That's what I would do,
Well, I was going to say, that's why you just drink at home and you don't get drunk. And you... Okay, this is my segue. So that's why you get drink and... No, you drink at home.
You get drink.
You get drink at home, and you have to buy that from where? From the store, right? Mm-hmm. So would you think, if you had to guess, Doug, if you were to buy your alcohol from Safeway or from Trader Joe's, which would be more expensive?
If I had to guess, I would guess Trader Joe's just because I've never shopped there in my life, so...
Same, yeah. That's what it has, like this air of like, it's like organic foods.
I thought it was like the nice... Is it like Whole
in here.
Foods?
Yeah, it's like... Well, you see, so Danae was in town on Saturday and was like, let's go to Trader Joe's.
Yay.
Is there one close by?
That was,
because
and I don't say this.
Oh, wrong one. No.
Excuse me. So wanted to get some things before she left and all this kind of stuff. Let's go to Trader Joe's. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. Well, let's go find one. We went there. We get there and they're like... start walking around. Umberto's like kind of like really like looking at stuff, like really kind of focused in. Danae and I are like kind of looking like, what should we get? Some snacks, some dinner, whatever. And then Umberto's like kind of walking around the store, just like kind of leaves and is walking around the store and comes back. And they're like, it's so cheap here.
Really?
These prices are like
Nice.
half the price of Safeway.
Oh.
And like we had gotten some
Safeway is
things
expensive,
and
though, yeah.
he was like, if this costs us less than $50, I'm gonna commit seppuku, right here in the store. Like I'm gonna commit ritual suicide if this is not.
I would say I'm like, my hat. That's not taking it far enough.
No, and it was our thing of a few items, whatever. I don't want to list them or I can't remember anyways. But it was $22, and literally at Safeway it would have been.
He killed himself.
Yeah, so Umberto, they're dead now.
So I need to say also, like, I need to add context because you were super stoked about $22. I spent $40. So it depends.
Together, that's over
on how
50,
you're
so
shopping.
there you go. No.
How you're shopping matters. But agreed.
Eggs there, that's what one of our other friends, like, if you go there when they still have eggs, because they run out almost every day or whatever, because they're like $4 a dozen. So,
under $4,
at
actually,
Safeway, they're like
$8
up
or
$7 and up,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was honestly, Umberto was really mad, like, about being like just so disgusted by
how much they've been
Safeway
they're ripping
and
the other
Albertsons
people
and
off. Yeah.
how much and you know what, that one, it's, I was about to say where it is. Well, it's in this kind of bad, whatever. It's can be kind of sketchy a little bit where the Safeway is here by our place. And there's a QFC also. You go to QFC after
we
9
went through
o'clock.
that,
I think I've
that
said it before.
neighborhood, right? And you're talking about how.
Yeah, that's going like to the jazz performance and stuff. After 9 at that QFC, there's always cops there. There's always people. Safeway, there's people shouting in the parking lot and stuff. Whatever. That is what it is. But it's like, that's where poor people live. They have to go, like all the way to Capitol Hill, like get over there, like in this different part of Seattle, blah, blah, blah. They don't. They live around this place, a lot of, they live around this Safeway and all this. That's where they shop. And it is so expensive. It is so incredibly expensive to shop there. And that's where the poor people live.
Instead of a food desert.
Right.
It's like a gate-kept food oasis where it's like, no, this is what you have here. It's the opposite. It's like, this isn't a food desert, but you're going to pay
There's plenty.
Whole Foods prices for not Whole Foods stuff,
Yeah. When I started shopping at Trader Joe's is back when I lived in Redding, California, and it was about 10 years ago,
been
so
there.
it's definitely changed.
Reminds me of the Tri-Cities.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, it is like the Tri-Cities. It's definitely changed, but there is a brand of wine there called Charles Schwab, or Shaw, not Schwab.
Charles Schwab wine. It's $1,000
Yeah.
a bottle.
Charles Shaw, and it was called $2 Chuck because you could get a bottle of wine for $2.49.
Chuck.
It's like usually like $4 now for that bottle. So $4 Chuck, but like when you're
Chuck.
like, oh, is it more expensive?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's so much cheaper to get your liquor and everything.
$2 Chuck. That's
Trader
funny. I haven't
Joe's.
heard that in a long time. I think our mom has told me about that or something. Get a bottle of $2
We didn't
I
even
mean-
look at the alcohol prices, honestly, because we don't
But
everything else.
yeah,
that we-
yeah, no,
Oh yeah.
love the Trader
Well, over here, wine's cheap. You get good wine for cheap because we
And
live in
we
a
were
wine
saying-
heartland. We live in the second largest viticultural area next to the Napa Valley.
Why
so,
there's no
whatever.
Trader Joe's in your area is because there aren't enough college degrees. They only go in places where the population has a really high
Really?
rate of people. Like their
Not even Richland,
people
huh?
are
Yeah,
That's
college
interesting.
So-
degree having folks.
something.
You'd
So
think
people
Richland
have been
would
actually
be really high
like,
with that because of
yeah,
the
you would think.
demographic there. But
I don't know how accurate that is, Nat, because I hadn't heard that until you had said that the other day. I will say that people have been campaigning for a Trader Joe's in the Tri-Cities area for a while now, because there's one in Spokane, and so people have been like, hey, like obviously like your transit routes could support like having a Trader Joe's here. But they've basically like said on multiple occasions, like, no, we can't. There's no way. Like, it's like too out of the way for us to do that. But maybe it is like actually like the demographic thing that
I wonder.
and they're just not saying that out loud.
Well, let's see. They got it in Seattle. They've got
we
one
have
in
Winco.
Bellingham.
If we just had
They're
more
adding-
Wincos, that would solve a lot. Winco's good.
That too. Yeah, 100%. I was saying that to Nat as well. I was like, dude, if you guys had Winco, like that's the cheapest place to shop, and it's employee owned.
Employee
I love
owned.
Winco so much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all
and they
over
don't
the
take
place.
credit cards, which is really interesting to me. But
yeah.
They don't take
yeah,
credit
no,
cards?
No.
That Winco.
You have to have a debit
you have
card
to
or
pay
cash.
with debit or cash
Oh.
or EBT.
Dad would be pissed. He doesn't have a.
Yeah.
He doesn't own a
I've
credit
gone
card.
in. There's been
Or
a few
I mean,
times
a debit card.
I would shop there all the time, and every once in a while I'd be like, "Shoot, all I have is a credit card right now, and I have all this stuff." It's like, damn it!
I've done that too. Yeah.
But yeah, it's an
sucks.
interesting cost-cutting thing or something like that. Is that they just
Yeah,
don't
credit
do
card
merchant
fees
services
are
with
crazy.
credit cards.
So
Debit card fees they
Yeah.
charge too.
yeah, but
I think
whatever
there's
still
the
Visa
services
cards.
is, yeah.
yeah, I think it's more though for credit or something.
Well,
But
the place that I went today, and the Inane Blather podcast is now brought to you by Clearly Canadian. Because I went to
nice.
Yolks, which is like our Whole Foods.
I love Yolks. They
Yeah.
I
have.
like yolks.
I always like them because they're just a straight up grocery store too. I like a grocery store that doesn't have like a lot of extra. That's not very like big. Like it's like
Walmart.
maybe a little bit more limited selection, but it's like just like
have everything you need.
groceries. Yeah, specific items. Yolks has the best.
man, that's
they have the
good.
best. The meat,
jeez.
the deli and stuff like that. The olives. Oh man.
Are they? Is that
yeah.
a Kroger brand?
No.
They're like
no?
only in like
No.
that part of. They're like only like in Washington. I don't think that they're.
Oh, it's local, employee owned. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, it's. I think Yolks is maybe the family name, and I know that because
Excuse me.
I told that to our niece one time when she was really little. She was like,
Based
she's
in
like, "What is it
Spokane.
called?" She's like, "Is it called Yolks because they sell eggs there?" I was like,
Yeah.
"No, I think it's the last name. Like they sometimes
You're
name
right.
things after people's last name." And she was like, "Oh, like Target." And I was like, "No."
Yeah, this is by John
like
Target
really
back in
It's
1946.
just so cute. It just made me
that
laugh.
is cute.
So
Let's
it's
see.
cute.
Yeah.
The chain was established by their son Chuck, aka $2 Chuck. No,
Yeah.
Chuck in the 1960s. They only have 19 stores: Washington, Idaho, and Montana,
Oh,
primarily
it
in
is,
Spokane. And in 1990, Chuck sold the chain to the employees. So, and now
for
they've
him.
expanded into the southeastern portion
And
of
their
Washington.
stores are always clean.
Pasco, Kennewick,
too.
West Richland, and Richland.
They have a very similar vibe to like Freddy's and stuff though. When I've been in there, I'm like, okay, like this really reminds me of like a nice Fred Meyer.
It reminded me of Top
or the
Foods,
grocery sections
where I
anyway.
went in Olympia, which I like
Yeah.
because I was like, what? There's like you can like
Kroger
try this
brand.
cheese at like the cheese section and stuff. Like, yeah, you want a sample? I'm like, what? Yeah,
Really
What kind of
nice
grocery
cheese.
store is
They have a
this,
really
dude?
good
Yeah.
bakery. We've gotten stuff at Yolks for like weddings and stuff. They like from their deli and all that kind of stuff. They have some really good
Dubliner
like
dip.
I mean, expensive. That Dubliner dip, that stuff is crazy. It's crazy.
The thing is, though,
really good, like fancy kind of expensive stuff like that too. The wine selection, excellent at Yolks.
yeah.
The meat, I would always go get steaks there, like if it was special for our dad or whatever. They had like the best cuts. It just was, and it's like cute, clean, and like farm aesthetic.
Yeah.
It was like cute.
But the thing
like
is
rural.
with those
I like
stores,
Yolks.
because then you just assume, because I was like, well, I can't afford to just shop at Yolks all the time, you know, even if it's better or something. But it's like, yeah, then you compare it to something like Safeway, which is just
Safeway.
like your go-to chain store, or Fred Meyer, all the same shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, oh, no, Yolks is cheaper too. It's nicer
Yeah.
and it's cheaper. I go there, just look for a sale, and suddenly I'm like, wow, I got better deals on buying meat and some produce than at Walmart. And I didn't have to go to Walmart. It's like, it just depends on how you're shopping, like Danae was saying.
Yeah, also, like, Walmart never does coupons or anything. Like,
No. You
Walmart
just
sucks.
have
Just
whatever's on
have low
sale is what's on
prices.
sale. Yeah.
yeah.
But even, and I discovered today, because I went to Yolks today, and got this clearly Canadian mountain blackberry. So good. So good.
Clearly, Canadians so good.
Oh, and notice that their generic brand for a lot of stuff is the same as the generic brand at the small town grocery in the town in which I live. I'm like, oh, it's the same. It's like a Top Choice or whatever the branding is. It's like, oh, I recognize that's what they have there. It's just cheaper here. It's like actually, it's actually a little cheaper than other stuff because it's a generic brand. Whereas in the small town grocery, where it's one of those, it's like a gate-kept oasis because you live in a small town. You have one normal grocery store and you have a fucking Dollar General down the road that they built right across the street from the major trailer park that's there. They even have their own.
Major
own-
trailer park?
Yeah, major trailer park. Minor
Dollar General.
nuisance. Yeah, but
General Dollar.
yeah.
Sorry.
Dollar General?
trailer park.
Yeah, but they even have now. Well, I mean, it's good because they reduce some stuff, but people crossing the street right there now that there's a crosswalk there and everything. It's like, yeah, because that's what Dollar General does. They just insert themselves into what could be close to a
Yeah.
food desert where people are having a tough time. People in my town would just go to Walmart 12 miles away, because the normal grocery store, that's the local place where you should be getting your stuff, is too expensive to just shop at normally. Even if you're on EBT, it's like you only get so much. You're going to use up all your stuff on all of everything that's not produce and meat, which any grocery store can just get you the best deal that they can if they're not Safeway, they get them from there. They have their suppliers. You get produce cheap, for whatever's in season, and they're getting from the right people. But everything else on the shelf, you're going there, you're going to get toilet paper, you're going to get some, you're going to get, some salsa and condiments, you're going to get some cereal. Good Lord. You might as well take out a fucking loan. It's like, what are you trying to do to these people?
To take this to the political, because that's what we like to do here. I'm assuming you guys have read up a little bit on the guy that's running for mayor in New York, where he's one of his things.
I was hoping you were going to bring that up.
I am so stoked for this. I really hope it happens. That he wants to socialize the
city-owned grocery
basically.
store. Yeah,
City-owned grocery stores, and I'm like, that is such a great idea. Because even with the way he has it set up, it's going to save money in their budget. Which that's crazy.
It helps the people. That's the thing is that I remember hearing
happen.
about this. I forget. Well, that's the thing. It's like, well, it looks good in theory. It's like it works well in reality. It's been done. It's been done in America. It's been done in other cities where they're like failing these people and stuff, and it helps. It saves money. It's good for the city. It's good for the people, and people still hate it because it's fucking communism, you know? And it's like, what do you want? What is your goal
Propaganda.
here? It's
Hell
like,
of a beat.
do you want
Hell of a
children to get food or not? Or do you want just this? Because you don't have a
don't want
share
children
in the
to have
grocery
food.
store.
You want a
otherwise
child to get a job.
Yeah.
That's what they want.
They want them to
children
have a
get
minimum
jobs
wage
and have
job
to
at
pay
that
for it
grocery
themselves.
store.
There's a reason why children have debt going to school because like not paying their school lunches. You know, like we don't want to feed children.
Yeah,
We'd
there
rather
is
them starve.
something like that. Because here's from context from Reuters. Because I heard this maybe on NPR, maybe on Planet Money or something a couple years ago, and I think it was in Chicago. And at least one of these says U.S. cities from Chicago to Tulsa test whether municipal stores can deliver food equity. Let's see, across the country, 76 counties lack a grocery store. If you didn't have a grocery store in your county, and it's like at rural groceries are at particular risk as demographics shift. Let's see, with the demise of thousands of grocery shops, and that can all go back to, gee whiz, I wonder why. It's things like fucking Kroger. Natalie, calm down, Natalie. Kroger. Yeah, you're like, antitrust alert, alert. Yeah.
Well,
but it's like yeah, of course all these
Natalie-
mom and pop shops go out of business. That's what happens. Walmart, Kroger. Good God.
Yeah. Nat and I were talking about this yesterday when she was taking me to the airport, like, or maybe picking me up, I can't remember. But we were talking about how nice it would be to, like, have that universal, like, food stipend. And for, like, anything. Like, you can go to a restaurant and use it. You can use it at grocery stores, whatever. Like,
Food.
because it would, like,
Yes,
also,
for food.
like, support, like, the small businesses, like, the small restaurants and stuff. Like, people would go out to eat more. Like, there would be, like, it would just, like,
Yeah.
absolutely, like,
Why do
pump
you
up
think
local
people
economies.
like to accept EBT? Because it's business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. So, like, it would be so awesome if we could, like, do that. Crazy thought.
Yeah,
see.
and like, is it so radical to want people to have food to eat? And the answer, yes, it is. Because, you know, good ideas like this, you can go on, and
Oh my
it's
God.
just so frustrating where it's like, yeah, these things do work in practice. On a different topic, we won't stray too far, but, you know, that's like on a different subject where you see people doing things differently, like in regards to police brutality and police things like that, where you see... you know, taking
Things
a
that
different
work.
approach and like not having them militarized and blah, blah, blah. And there's been different cities that have approached it. Their police violence rates went way down, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's tried and true, but it sounds too like hippy dippy and all this kind of bullshit is associated and around it. So it's like, if you go any larger than just like a community, pretty much, like, you know, something that maybe it kind of made like a national news a little bit, but, you know, it's not being talked about by like Congress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, no fucking
Yeah.
way.
Oh,
you know, it
especially
can
right
only
now.
stay. Yeah, it just stays kind of small, and it doesn't really gain much ground because it immediately, if you get any larger than kind of like a city level, then there's immediate backlash from places like, I mean, especially with like Heritage Money Foundation money. Sorry, Heritage
Oh.
Foundation
Yeah.
money.
Okay. I was like, which one's
or,
that one?
but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I mean, also Democrats don't necessarily want to help out either.
Yeah,
because they're like,
they
"It's gonna
own,
cut into
they own
my
shares in
profit
Kroger
margins."
too, just like the
Yeah,
rest
exactly.
of them. Well, it's like this economic security project working with the city of Chicago on a feasibility study. It says, "quote The goal is to increase life expectancy, reduce poverty. That's a return.
Okay.
Make workers more productive because they have access to fresh food." So even if you frame it in like this total capitalist hellscape,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, people are better off when they have fresh
When
food.
they eat.
But instead, the response is,
I hope you
Less
get ass
sick
cancer
days.
and die, you son of a bitch.
yeah.
Like less sick days, literally just more productive because they're not thinking about the fact that they're hungry.
Gee whiz,
they don't
people are
have to, like-
happier.
Relationships and better
They don't-
parenting.
Yeah.
like they're like they don't have to take as long at lunch probably because they'll be able to just like bring food to work and
Yeah.
have their lunch break at work, whatever. Like
With their
there's like so
coworkers. Increased
many
community.
benefits to
it's
being
like-
able to do that.
Right after this, critics call such a project wasteful, with one libertarian think tank saying it amounts to, quote, subsidized dysfunction.
Jesus.
And that's the
does that even
foundation
fucking
for
mean?
economic education.
Freedom. Oh.
Fee.
Ugh.
Oh boy. The National
I think we need to
Grocers Association declined to comment. Of course they did.
Of course they did. I think we need to use, once again, I'm going to continue to advocate that we start using religious propaganda for the left.
You're
because,
cutting out. Can you repeat
Your mic
that?
is
Oh,
clipping. Yeah. Oh, I'm cutting out. Yeah.
I think it's probably recording you just fine, but we couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
wow.
You're so right, Danae. Yeah.
I am so right.
Let's see.
It goes back to the propaganda
Wow.
that we need to use as leftists, you mean?
in
Yeah,
Kansas.
yeah. So,
Oh yeah,
Kansas.
yeah. Fight with some agitprop. Fight with
well,
propaganda.
because like Jesus fed the poor,
You and
500
Jesus.
fish or whatever. I know, right?
No.
Like I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed.
I know.
With Jesus. But like I want to use that. I want to say like, hey, like, you guys want to be all Christian and stuff? Okay, let's talk about feeding the poor. Like, absolutely. Let's just feed the poor. Let's
like
just feed
teach a man to
everyone.
fish. Isn't that one of the verses?
No, not even teach it. No, it's
like
not.
no, I think that's just
But,
a
like,
saying.
Jesus feeding the 500 or whatever, like taking a fish, multiplying the loaves of bread, whatever, all of that, like that wasn't even the poor. That was
So
just
you're-
people showing up
So
and
you're
listening
asking
to
for
him,
a
right?
miracle, is what you're saying.
What I'm asking for is for free handouts.
Yeah. Free socialist handouts paid for with George Soros money. Okay. It's
Imagine-
I am actually asking for that.
Imagine if there was literally like a food credit for every single family, like once a month. Like it was just like one specific credit, even just to like have their family like go out to eat and they can use it however they want to, and like the government just like
an
pays like
expansion
whatever
of the child
restaurant and
tax
stuff.
credit
That'd be so
that
crazy.
lifted thousands of people out of
Especially
poverty. It
Because
says
it's like stuff is subsidized, and it's the billionaires who are subsidized. It's like the government
we were
does
just talking
subsidize
about
things.
that
They
today
do
at lunch.
subsidize things.
Yes,
They do that
100%.
already.
it's like, why do you
And it's
think
like,
we
why
have a
can't
bunch
we
of
be the
corn
ones?
syrup in our fucking food instead of sugar? Because of subsidies. We were just talking about that
Corn
at
syrup
lunch
is
today.
sugar, but yeah.
And well, yeah, but
Well,
not
cane
instead of
sugar.
cane sugar. But
Right.
it's like it's so funny because the two things that we were talking about, I was just gonna say at lunch today, even we talked about that, and for some reason Dad was quoting Bible verses today. Like, what's with you, Danae? You're just getting this out there into the world. No, it was really funny.
the Holy
I was
Spirit.
quoting Bible
No,
verses.
it was kind of funny. I don't know. He's really into this Bible shit lately. No, I'm just kidding. But no, we went to a place. There's so much. It's all very Christian oriented stuff at this Mexican place. Fantastic food. It's it's the best place in the town in which I live.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
Text
so
it to
I
me,
think.
please.
Maybe that had struck it because it kind of seemed out of nowhere, but he was like, oh, here it is. It's Matthew, blah, blah, blah. He's like, this is the one that actually says the golden rule. And he was like, that's what he's all about. He was like, and he did the whole lead in and then to do unto others as you'd have done to you. And then the thing after that. And then it was, it's an interesting, especially reading like the King James version. I'm like, ugh, gosh, so wordy, but all for that little nugget in there. But and then it's funny. It's like, and then after that, it's something about false prophets and sheep's clothing and whatever.
That doesn't happen.
Beware
That's
of
not
false
prescient.
prophets.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like something. It's like Trump, whatever. It's just really, kind of explaining the things that happen in society. They were talking about that 2,000 years ago. No big deal. But good old Jesus, he kind of knew. He knew some things. But it says for these grocery stores in Kansas alone, 1 in 5 rural grocery stores closed in the decade to 2018.
That's 20%.
That is crazy. Oh, wait. Matching the national ratio. We've heard examples of grocery stores closing, and the schools have a hard time staying open or other critical infrastructure being impacted, and they go hand in hand, she says. Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. People are talking about it. This isn't really the article I was looking for. Oh, go deeper. Wow. And then the first example at the end of this article says go deeper. There's another article. Crime magnets, food deserts, U.S. dollar stores in the dock. And it's a big picture of a Dollar General.
Dollar General.
Dollar fucking General.
They
Dollar
are
General
dollar
is
stores.
They are the harbinger of capitalist doom. They're the worst.
I have never seen more dollar stores than when I was living and working in North and South Carolina. They are everywhere in the South. They're everywhere. People shop there. Like, that was like kind of a new experience for me. Nothing like I've never been to a dollar store, but not very often. There wasn't one in the town we grew up in. I never really thought about it except for like randomly, like maybe that would be something like the dollar store would have.
Well,
like
also
dishes for cheap or something.
fun.
But dollar stores,
Yeah.
dollar stores, and Dollar Generals
Or in
are two
college.
different things.
Yeah.
Dollar Generals are not dollar
Yeah,
stores.
it's just
Dollar
called
Generals
that.
are just like a like kind of a grocery store, more on the
Really
lines
cheap.
along the lines of like a convenience store. It's not even that cheap all the time.
They
But they have what?
I was going to say, down south, they have dollar stores, Dollar General, and another one. There's like 3 different
Like
of
Dollar
these
Tree?
same kind of Dollar
Yeah.
Tree. There might even be a 4th one that
Dollar
you would
Tree?
see them like
They have
almost
that here, right? Oh,
almost like
Yeah.
next door to each other. Like some of these, they were just like
Like this is the
so
shopping
prevalent
plaza.
because you're like, well,
The market.
it was like in like
Oh,
very
boy.
rural
Yep.
areas where that's. I
There's-
just noticed it being down there. It was like, damn, and people talk
But
about grocery shopping there.
And they get
Or I'm
people.
like, oh.
And it's so like almost insidious because then it's like they supply enough food, but they don't carry fresh food. There's no fresh produce, nothing like that. There's frozen foods. There's some dairy. And then was it some more news or was it John Oliver? Who did the story? It was John Oliver, right? Did a story about
John Oliver might have done
Dollar
the
General?
documentary on the Dollar General.
Yeah.
There's a couple that
Brutal.
have been out though, and it's really crazy. They have wild business practices. They also
people just
have
leaving.
like,
That
they
happened
also just like
at the one in my small town. I just you go up and there was just like no one was there.
No.
It was just closed.
no one's there. Yeah, there's often like very severely understaffed, and like there's been like a lot of instances, and they had like a class action against them because they wouldn't update their prices on their items. So like something would be on sale on like the national level, but like the barcode wasn't changed or something. So they were like overcharging people based on whether or not they had staff to like
To
make
change out the
inventory
barcodes
adjustments
or-
and stuff.
Oh man.
Exactly. And also like they might say like one price like on the shelf and then like one price at the checkout, and it could be either cheaper or more expensive, like just depending on whatever item that was. And like it's basically just like false advertising at like scale.
True. Yeah.
Um,
and it shouldn't
but,
be
yeah,
on the
I don't
consumer to
know.
be like, nope, look this up and change the price for me because it's on your website.
100%.
Whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
no, just do your like.
Hell
this is
no.
a store.
Pay me to
a
do that. That's your
national
literal
store.
fucking job.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and also they're so understaffed. You can't be like
Yeah,
yelling at the
not-
person there. It's like,
Of
what?
course.
What are
Yeah.
they gonna do? Yeah,
That's
they
your
have like
job,
one
owner
person.
of Dollar General.
Yeah, there's like one person working there for minimum wage while there's rats crawling around in the back and a room full of boxes stacked up to the ceiling that they don't know what to do with because no one's ever there working.
Well,
Yeah,
I also
I agree.
want to say just back to Safeway really quick. A little tip
Never
for
heard of
everybody
it.
because we did find this out. That Safeway that I usually go to, they have started checking receipts at the door, but you don't have to show them.
You just walk past them.
That's what exactly. I didn't like. It's like literally like your constitutional right to not show them. That's like your
Really?
Fourth Amendment is protecting you from an unreasonable
Oh, man.
search. They
Imagine
can
being that
only
guy,
like
though.
force you. They can only force you if they're literally like, no, like we have you on camera to like catching you or something like that. You have to show at Costco. You have to show at Costco. Because of your
you're a member.
membership.
It's a
That's a
membership
rule of your
club.
membership. So anybody, you're trying to steal from any store and they try to check your receipt at the door, you just walk past them and you say,
Or
"No,
even your
thanks."
bags. They can't check
Yeah.
your bags. They can't search you.
What I like,
They can't
can
look,
just keep
because
walking.
it's your stuff. Like they have to like catch you.
Yeah.
You can just like and the one at the Safeway, Umberto and I think they're just looking to see that you have a receipt from this day. Like the guys just
Yeah.
like look at it. They don't even look in your bag or anything because again, I don't think they're allowed to.
I
So,
walk out of Walmart and show
open
them my
your-
receipt and walk out with stuff.
You
that's
just
not
like
on the
hand them
receipt.
thanks. Yeah.
I'm like, here you go. And I just wait. They're like, all right, thank you. I'm like, thank you. No, but
And
or Walmart.
you don't
What
have
I
to
always
show
say
them.
is
Yeah.
that you just go out behind someone else because then they're gonna check their receipt, and while they're checking that, you just walk past them because then it's like whatever. I'm not gonna wait. It's like
Umberto
what?
and I just said no thanks and just kept walking.
No, thanks. Have a nice day.
Love that.
No, that's
Yeah.
okay.
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Nightcap? No, thanks. I don't wear them. But this article that was related, so it started talking about Dollar General. It was related because it said in last February, Chicago, again, became the largest city yet to seek to limit the retailers, to limit the number of Dollar Generals.
Good.
Say officials deciding that although the stores fulfill a need for families in areas lacking basic retail services, they were also a cause of economic distress. So supporters say the so-called small box retailers offer that's what they are, small box retailer, right? Because it's not a grocery store. It's not a big box store. Right. It's like, it's not a convenience store. It's just a big convenience store.
It's a small grocery store that doesn't have the other stuff that a big box does, like the appliances and clothing and like all of the other things.
But
that
I
you can
mean,
get, like,
are
at
they a
Walmart or,
grocery
like,
store
Fred
if they
Meyer.
don't have produce? Like they don't.
I think Dollar General does have produce. I don't think that a Dollar Tree does though.
Dollar General doesn't have produce. At least not
Okay.
anyone that I've seen.
Okay.
But it says supporters say they offer a lifeline to low-income families. Let's see. So the Chicago measures are just the latest in around 130 restrictions imposed on dollar store expansion in recent years. Places have ordered moratoriums on expansion. Yeah, I've heard of that. The whole thing has exploded, said Kennedy Smith, a senior researcher with the Institute for Local Self-Reliance, the ILSR, which published a report on the, quote, dollar store invasion last year. Ooh, now I'm looking at a report here. Communities are in revolt, but the chain's predatory tactics also demand federal action. Dollar General, Dollar Tree, and Family Dollar. That's another big one.
Yeah.
Family Dollar are targeting vulnerable communities, opening stores at a breakneck pace in urban and rural areas alike. It's tempting to assume that these chains simply fill a need in cash-strapped places, but the evidence suggests that dollar stores are not merely byproducts of economic distress, they are a cause of it. Through predatory tactics, the dollar chains are killing off grocery stores and other local businesses, leaving communities with fewer jobs. Yeah, right? It's like if you kick out one of these other retailers, then you're replacing it with a place that understaffs. You know, it's like the jobs just disappear. It's like
it's like
fewer
when
jobs.
Walmart came into Othello.
Oh yeah, no more Potter Drug.
Yeah.
There was a little store, you know. That's where you'd go get
Aikens.
go get a pair of sandals and
supermarket.
a greeting card and pick up your prescription. But oh wow. Fewer jobs, diminished access to basic goods, and dimmer prospects for overall well-being. They're facing a rising tide of grassroots opposition over the last couple of years. Scores of cities and towns have blocked the chains from opening new stores. Local action alone is not enough, however. Federal policymakers also need to address the ways in which misguided policies, particularly those governing antitrust and finance, are fueling the destructive proliferation of dollar stores. And it's like, great, cool, good thing that you did that, during the Biden admin. I'm sure that the federal government will do something about it now.
And that brings us back to that moron saying that we're subsidizing whatever the fucking word he said
Subsidized
about
dysfunction. Yeah. What does that mean?
Like, oh, this is
what do you mean?
This is the way to go instead. Let's just have unregulated, bloodthirsty capitalism sweeping through our small towns, the heart of America, the actual real Americans with no government support, no nothing, and just, let these people slowly starve to death with bad nutrition leading to heart disease and cancer and blah, 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 and all of this shit in these small towns. They don't have a job. Because you're like, why? Yeah. And like killing themselves and getting addicted to drugs and all that kind of stuff. Because you're like, why would we want to socialize this? Why would we want to have the city, like make sure that everybody can have food and that there's a grocery store that's staffed and all that kind of stuff? That sounds ridiculous. We should just let the dollar store.
I hope you get ass cancer and die, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. They say, you want to shop for groceries and fresh produce?
Go kill yourself. Go sit in the middle of the road and let a car run over you.
Exactly.
Just don't do it in front of my house or my Dollar General that I own a share in. Let's see. Wow, they also had a report from 4 years before that. Dollar stores are targeting struggling neighborhoods and small towns. One community is showing how to fight back. Oh, I wonder. Now I want to read that report too. But let's see here. Wow. The numbers, the planned stores and number of dollar stores opening up. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Just rising. It's just exploding. This whole area is just exploding. But let's see. Yeah, since 2018, at least 54 cities and towns have enacted laws that sharply restrict new dollar stores. Man, and they're so ugly. I just look at this Dollar Tree. I'm like, that looks just like the one in Kennewick. Is that the one in Kennewick? It's like, it's because they just all look the same.
They all look the same, yeah.
Let's see. So in March 2022, residents of the Collinwood neighborhood on Cleveland's northeast side learned that the area's only grocery store, Dave's Market, would be closing after more than 30 years in business. The store was part of a small, locally owned chain of supermarkets founded in the late 1920s and run over the decades by 5 generations of the Saltzman family. With about a dozen locations today, Dave's Market is a staple of life in many Cleveland neighborhoods, and the news of their store closing was met with an outpouring of grief and worry from neighbors, especially older residents of several nearby high-rises who are unable to drive or cannot afford a car. It's the Saltzmans explained. Let's see. Let's see. It was beloved, the only source of fresh produce and meat in the neighborhood, but it had struggled to stay in the black. There were multiple reasons for this, the Saltzmans explained, but one factor was the influx of dollar stores. Within 2 miles, there are 7 Family Dollar and Dollar General outlets.
That's crazy.
By saturating the neighborhood with stores that carry some of the same packaged foods like chips, cereal, and cake mix found at Dave's, the dollar chain siphoned off enough of the grocery store's sales to leave it struggling to stay afloat. And it's a pattern that the two chains have repeated across the country. That's what sucks. It's like, so they offer some of the same stuff, they offer it cheaper, and they put it right next to these places that need access to like something close by, something walkable, something on a bus route and stuff. Even if it's just the same price, they just get it right in the right spot. It puts the grocery store out of business. Suddenly they get all the business and they don't have all the stuff. They don't have fresh produce. They don't have enough staff. They don't have the jobs there. And the money doesn't stay in the local community. It's a huge corporation. Yeah. It's disgusting.
Yeah. And they're like paying like minimum wage at most and like barely employing anyone. And that makes
like at this point, even Walmart is more welcome than these places. It's like, which is crazy to say, but it's
That is
like, but
crazy.
Walmart offers produce. It pays people over minimum wage, big time. It's
Well,
like, and if
kind
it's
of
still,
big time.
well, I mean, if you're outside of Washington, yeah.
But we're also still subsidizing most of Walmart's employees on food stamps. and
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly. But that's the same as like just doing it for just a few people getting no nutrition at a Dollar General,
Also-
and it's still just going up to some corporate overlord no matter what. It's like, good Lord.
Also, Walmart does not give discounts on groceries for their employees.
That's true. That's true. I worked for Walmart. I didn't even
saying.
think about that.
That's such
Oh, yeah.
bullshit.
I
Like, are you kidding
hated
me?
going and being like, shit, well, I guess
crazy.
I'm going to buy something from the store so I could eat it on my lunch break in my car because I
yeah.
don't want to hang out with these
Yeah.
people.
They don't even and they don't even like give you like a stipend for like if you go work at any fast food place, at least you know that you're gonna have a meal that day. Like you will get a free meal at
Yeah.
least usually.
Or at least
good
a
point.
discount. Golly.
And
At
when
least
you're working,
or like at 50% off or something. But like for the most part, you will either be able to like snack on some food that was like a mistake. You'll get a free meal, or like you will have a heavily discounted meal. You don't even get that at Walmart. That's stupid.
and I worked in what would they call it? Fresh something. I worked with
Fresh
the food.
Produce.
I worked with food
Deli.
at Walmart. I started in the deli. Yeah, I worked in the deli, and then I worked produce the whole time I was there. And yeah, for one thing, you're not getting anything for free. And then you have to think about that while you throw out just hundreds of pounds of food all the time.
So
You have to
stupid.
take it out to the back. There's different sorted ones for different types of produce and these types of foods and the baked goods and this and that, and you're throwing them away, and it's all going in like this big lines of these garbage cans behind a locked gate out back behind Walmart, and it is horrifying. It is crazy. There were a couple times
disgusting.
where it was just like, well,
In the-
this was a
that
mistake.
should be
If you worked in
going
the
to-
deli, you could get away
And that
from
should be going
with
to
it.
the local food bank at the very least.
Yeah,
At
but
the
they
very
won't.
least, that should be going to.
Won't do it. Nope.
They do send some stuff to the food banks in Othello for sure.
That's good.
I think it depends on where you live, but like
And there's literally
Anyway.
zero reason why they can't do that. It literally, and I know John Oliver
Trader Joe's
did back in the
Trader
day.
Joe's sends
along-
all of their stuff to food banks.
There's nothing
have
about
to be close
expiration
to
dates,
one.
anything like that. Like literally, they're like, we'll come pick it up, and they just won't. They're like the liability or whatever. It's
there's no
not
liability.
true. All of that, it's total bullshit. They hate poor people and literally want them to starve.
Yep.
Like genuinely,
Yeah.
or have to spend every single dollar that you have coming to the store and spending it there. That's
Oh
like
yeah,
literally
because if you have
they-
more food, in food banks, then you're not going to spend money at Walmart getting food. Like,
and
if you
they'd rather
the
have
food
you
at-
starve
Yeah.
than
They're
not
like, we
spend
want
your
you
money
to
at
get
their
your
store.
EBT
They're disgusting.
and come back here where we make it easy for you to
Yeah.
spend your EBT because you're going to have to use it at the self-checkout where we're only taking cards because everything else is closed down after like 8 p.m. or whatever it is. And you go and no one is working a cash register and no one takes cash. And it drives me crazy. But
Mr. Winco.
I just saw, at least Winco, they'll always have people working the checkout if you want to have someone do it
Always,
for
yeah.
you.
and
But,
they're 24 hours.
Yes, that's true. 24 hours. I always liked that. Where I just saw it today, just what we were talking about right here. It's a picture that someone posted. I'm not sure where they're working or whatever, but just a trash can full of like baked goods, pastries, donuts, full. Just a full trash can. And someone quoted it and said, well, Mothman fan _ Lord Draco II. I'll give him a shout out. But said, dipshits will tell you socialism means no food. Meanwhile, capitalism, look at this. You know, it's like, that's where you're profiting off of people eating. What do you expect is going to happen? Like,
Yeah.
But, socialism is when no car, socialism is when no food, I don't know.
Everybody's telling us to stop doing what we're trying to do.
We're just trying to throw away food over here, okay?
Yeah,
We love the
golly.
sound. We love the sound of the food hitting the bottom of the garbage can. So the garbage and so it goes on the barge.
Yeah. Speaking of no car, I was just thinking about on the bus ride, because I took a bus from Moses Lake to Seattle over the weekend, and it's like a Greyhound or whatever, but like, anyway, it was a random
bus.
It was just a bus that I thought was going to be
some
nicer
guy.
because I paid $80, $80 to ride from Moses Lake to Seattle, 4-hour trip. First of all, I can't even imagine paying that much if I was like in like Europe or something taking a bus. Like even in like the richer
Not even
countries,
what it used
like,
to be here in America. It used to be like really
yeah,
cheap,
exactly.
right? Take a bus.
Yeah.
Somewhere for like $15.
Yeah, first of all, the bus was disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, when I got to Seattle, I took the light rail to go meet Natalie, and I was just like, wow, this is so clean.
Yeah.
And it cost me $3.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like,
Wait,
wow,
those aren't
like,
free?
wouldn't it be wouldn't it be so
free.
nice?
They're free if you don't pay.
Yeah. I could have done that. I didn't know. But wouldn't it be so nice if we just had buses available
Wouldn't
to
it
us?
be nice? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it is clean. The light rail is nice and clean, and definitely not the same. I mean, whatever. There's all kinds of people
It
in the city.
depends on where
whatever.
you are, for sure. But like,
Yeah.
I've never
The time
had
of
like
night,
a
all that kind of stuff,
Anywhere.
but-
Anything community related
yeah.
can get dirty pretty quick.
Even,
Tell you what, as
like,
someone who
even
helps put
when
on
I was-
city projects.
Yeah. Well, even when I was
Or
living in the
events, I
Bay
mean.
Area and taking like the train, like the BART from like Oakland to San Francisco, which is like one of like the most used, like, and I haven't been on a subway in New York, so I can't speak to
that's
that.
by
But
far
like,
the most used. Yeah.
even when I would take the BART, like it was somewhat like decently maintained, and I was never like, oh my god, this is disgusting, Like
Yeah.
it's just because it's privatized. The bus, just like
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's just like
So yeah, they start privatizing the trains in the UK, and it all goes to hell. They slowly privatize part of it, and then it all turns to shit. And they'd be like, "Look at how dysfunctional this is. We should privatize this." That's what's been happening in the UK. So then people can take over, make some money, and make it shittier. And it's like, and then even if you get to blame the private owners, what are you gonna do? What are you going to do? What, you're going to get a car? Well, you're going to ride it anyway. They say
They're like, you can't make us have a clean bus. That's our right as a business. We can have it as dirty and disgusting as we want.
we have a
don't
right
have
to
any
defend
standards.
ourselves.
What are you going to do? Yeah, you going to get a car?
free
oh, you don't have
market.
one?
And it's like,
Well, it can be
you don't have any
nasty
other
and covered in
options,
vomit.
so yeah, like we can just
Because
keep it
of
how
the
we want because
implication.
you don't. Yeah, the implication. Also, like I was watching this video, I can't remember who it was, but it was a guy talking about Doge and how frustrated he was with like the whole idea about like the conversation of efficiency, and like how he's like, you want to talk about efficiency, but you don't want to talk about efficiency in what ways? Like, yeah, sure, it can be efficient in like cutting costs, okay, but like efficient
That's
to
not
who?
the only definition, of efficiency.
Exactly. Like we can make things more efficient in a way that they actually work well, rather than just
more
being like, well,
efficiently
it's good for the
serve
budget.
the people. Yeah,
exactly.
It's like, how about efficiency in like the postal service or something? It's like, no, it's not about cutting costs. It's about, let's say, efficiency is whatever measures it takes to make sure that everyone got mail quicker, or like something was
hiring
guaranteed more. It's like,
people.
that's efficient. Yeah, it could cost more money. It's like,
100%.
that's a good point. Yeah.
Investing in infrastructure, like making sure that the post office actually has working vehicles, that like they're delivering vehicles in air conditioned or
They
heated.
finally are doing
which
that. Just crazy.
There's neither of those usually. Yes, it is insane, especially because like we have like 100+ degree summers now, and so you have people that are literally driving around with just a little fan.
A fan, yeah. In an old converted Chevy S10 with no air conditioning and no doors on it. Yeah. And it's like, And you know,
and they have to go
with
slow
all
because
this
they're
money
gonna
for
get heat
infrastructure. Yeah, yeah, they can't even get the wind blowing in through there because they have to stop every 100 feet. But
exactly.
That's true. I was just telling Dad today, it's like, well, you know what? It's just about how we spend the money, because you take all the money that we spent on the Iraq and Afghanistan wars, and if we wanted to, we could have converted every interstate highway in the United States to high-speed rail. That's how much money we spent. You know, you take all the money spent on the Afghanistan war, we could send everyone in America to college for free for like the next 40 years or something like that. It's crazy.
Well, at least some rich people got richer,
and
that's
some
what
brown
it's all
people
about,
got deader.
Got deader. So that's what it's all about. You know, really cemented, the United States as a maybe we're not colonizers, but yeah, but we do like to kill brown people. We don't necessarily want to move to these places. We just kind of want to fuck them up, take their resources, kill their people,
and vacation
stay
there
over here.
Yeah, and then create some shithole like Dubai. And create a
exactly
fucking
like some
shopping
kind of
mall in the desert. Yeah, it's like somehow worse than Las Vegas. It's like it's even more ostentatious and with less fun. Okay. Well, we should get going. To everyone out there,
I'll cut your throat. I'll come to your house and kill your children.
No. I was gonna say
I hate women. I think there's only one gender, man. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I believe.
That's our man Hassan.
I guess we had a full-on conversation before the show, of course. But we were talking about misogynists, how to get them on the right track, blah blah blah. Hassan Piker, FD Signifier, those routes and stuff. And I said that Sophia watched a video with Hassan Piker today. I don't have the applause thing on my soundboard, but because of some video with an influencer that she watches. But, and so it was, and I didn't even think about it, the first time that Sophia had seen the clip. So, of course, she inserted it in there. She's like, because Hassan talks politics, not me. And then just immediately, I think America deserved 9/11. I'm saying it. Yeah. And Sophia was like,
hell yeah.
What? I was like, yep, that's a classic. But, what
the fuck?
Whoa, yeah. But the other classic, of course.
I need to see a dick.
And that's what we'll end on. So, in other words,
Bitches leave.
Shout out to our listeners. Shout out to Amanda. Shout out to Discontent Provider. Who else? Shout out to Annabelle.
That person who loves us on YouTube.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Okay. I wonder. Yeah, from Phoenix. Shout out to our Phoenician listener.
We also parasocially love you.
Yes, it's true.
Thanks
so thank
for
you very
joining
much.
us.
Very much thank you if you actually listen to the end of this video, because our average watch time on YouTube is about 1.5 minutes. So I appreciate it if you listen all the way through.
I really bring down that average. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I don't know how to look at these analytics. Like some of them say at the beginning, they're like, you know what? We have so many views, but only 40% are subscribed or something. And they say that. I think that's in the analytics somewhere. Whatever. You don't have to listen to us. Just go subscribe. It's kind of nice. I like seeing that number go up. It'd be pretty cool to get to 100 or something like that. We're close to 50. We can get there. But either way, have fun in Vietnam.
Thank you.
And we're
next week I'll be
jealous.
calling in from another country too, so don't be jealous.
Well, I am. You can't tell me what to be.
Just live vicariously through me.
That's
for now.
Jealousy is heavily involved in doing something like that.
I'll bring you guys with me
Maybe
next
envy.
time. Okay.
I'm envious. Okay.
Get
That's
on those
different.
passports.
Okay, and everyone watch the new
got
ContraPoints video too.
Yeah.
So.
Hey.
Okay.
Shout
Love you
out
guys.
to ContraPoints.
All right. Shout out to all of us. And
Love
Aaron
y'all.
Brown and
All right.
And
Aaron Brown, our Lord and
Brown.
Savior. Okay, bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.